Hello, students. So, we're covering chapter 19 this week, and it is 1865 to 1913, and it is covering American imperialism. So, we're starting in the end of the Civil War and going to right before World War One. So, that is a lot of years and a lot of material, and there is so much going on that there's no way I can give you everything that is in your textbook. So that's why you have PowerPoints, you have outlines, and you have your textbook to cover all of this. You'd be bored to death if I did all this in a video. And you also have David Shi's video. He has also some few points for you that I'll include in the chapter. So let me just give you some quick things that are important that you might expect, and then I'll let you go. American imperialism is a very important part of American history, and it's very curious. So, manifest destiny, we all know about like Western expansionism. So, the last half of the 19th century, you've got industrial revolution going on. We talked about Reconstruction. We talked about putting the nation back together. Um, there's a lot. There's a lot we're trying to do. And then all of a sudden, we've got this American imperialism that's also going on. We all know about a manifest destiny and how America's manifest destiny of getting like coast to coast, Atlantic to Pacific, which we did. So, were we done? No, because then we get this new manifest destiny. And yes, there was a racial component in our first manifest destiny because obviously we felt like it was very okay to take Native American lands, and just take them, do whatever. And of course, that there's some level of racial component there. But when you get to the new manifest destiny, it was very driven by the racial component because the racial Darwinism really was taken into effect. And when we went for Beyond Our Borders with our new manifest destiny, it wasn't even to acquire like new states or to make these new territories a part of the United States, which we did get Hawaii and Alaska. But we went beyond our borders because we wanted raw materials or things from these territories, not to make them a part of us. And also, we went over there with the idea that, obviously our way of life is superior because we're doing so good at what we're doing that we need to spread Anglo Saxonism to the rest of the world because our way is superior to everybody else, to the whole world. And the more that we spread it, we are benefiting humanity. Wow. So, this is the outlook and the what was a motivating factor and how they approached it. And yes, there is also don't get me wrong, there's a major economic factor, okay, that I don't want to construe the fact that that was a major precipice of this. Like businesses, corporations, however you want to see it, and uh, prominent business leaders, civil leaders, they were pushing this as well. So you've got economic, you've got um, Protestant Christian, and you also have this social Darwinism all mixing up together. So keeping all that in mind, and then you've got some recipe for some very interesting American history here. Some of it is just entertaining. Other parts of it is just extremely disturbing. Um, and then when you go into the Philippine War, it's very, very disturbing. Um, you already know about American History Tour Tellers podcast. They have a very um, dark and disturbing, accurate telling of the Philippine War, and it is very very interesting. You want to look into that more or listen to it. It's very sad because Americans do not come out well um, listening to what happened there in the Philippine War. This covers a lot of interesting. TR is a character, and very interesting to go into to Teddy Roosevelt. The way I see our American um, leaders and like with our founding fathers or um, like Teddy Roosevelt, American hero, um, that you see political figures, they're all human. They are very they have conflicting personalities. None of them are perfect. A lot of them accomplished a lot, and you have to take it as it is. So they may have done great things. Some of them are completely flawed. So you have to take them for what they are. So a lot of them do great things, and they are also could be greatly flawed. So take all that whenever you learn at a college level about. Don't get so disillusioned because you might learn that these people that you may have admired or heard a lot of things about or seen movies or documentaries, and then you learn that they're very deeply flawed. You might just learn that they're human. That's all. Okay. So enjoy the chapter, learn some things, and then be ready for your test. See you next
All of
time.
the major European nations began a phase of imperialism whereby they intentionally conquered other nations, especially in Africa and Asia, in an effort to provide the raw materials necessary to feed their growing industrial economies. You may not be aware that the United States also became an imperial nation, driven by people, most of whom assumed that Asia was the greatest market in the world and that the United States needed to position itself so that its economy could take full advantage of millions of Asians buying American products. So it was for that reason that a group of imperialists led by Theodore Roosevelt justified the American expansion abroad, a very dramatic change in the American foreign policy up to that point that had pursued essentially a stance of isolationism from the rest of the world. Now, however, aggressive imperialism led to the acquisition of the Hawaiian Islands, Samoa, Guam Island, as well as the acquisition of the Philippine Islands as a result of our involvement with the Spanish American War. So that by the early 20th century, American foreign policy had essentially been reversed. Now we had far flung possessions around the world that required a worldwide commitment to their defense. That meant a stronger Navy, a stronger Army, and of course, a continuing commitment to internationalism on the part of the United States.